Thank you for joining us today for another game of Imminent Peril, the creatively chaotic storytelling survival game. I am Aaron, the creator of Imminent Peril. I have a few new players and awesome guests with us today. Please introduce yourselves, team.
I'm Steve. I also go by Tabletop Hero. I'm a board game reviewer on with short form content like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts.
Hello, I'm Ben. I play video games and make videos, and I'm excited to play some Imminent Peril today.
I am Odin, and I'm a random person.
Fair enough.
Hi, I'm Kells. I'm a big old nerd, and I love this game.
Hi, I'm Ian, first time player, but long time computer gamer. And I am a narrator, a voice artist. I work with Sound Booth Theatre. My website is www.ianmwalker.com.
All right. So, to begin Imminent Peril, we are going to roll our scenario. So we are starting in a decaying or eroding Renaissance fair inhabited by earthen or stone burglars. So our job now is to add more details to kind of glue these things together into some kind of situation or world that makes sense. So again, decaying or eroding Renaissance fair with earthen or stone burglars. Who has ideas?
That's a head scratcher right there. Wow.
Right. Well, I think I've been to Renaissance Festival quite a bit, and I've seen people dress up like giant walking trees.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing some people that were on stilts are now elementals walking around, maybe 6-7 feet tall.
I like that. Yeah, stone elementals. Maybe they're undercover as these stilt walking elementals pickpocketing people from above. Because who would expect it?
Yes.
Are you
No.
saying that the Ents are coming to Isengard?
Well, okay. What if we want petrified elemental tree people?
Pickpocketing, you said burglars, so that involves property, does it not?
That's fair. Yeah. To burgle, one must steal more than pocket change.
Is the Ren Fair still going, or is it closed down? Because I kind of feel like if there are people to be burgled, then it's still going, but not well maintained, perhaps?
Yeah, decaying or eroding.
Perhaps everyone is trapped there by a time bubble, and that's why it's, no, not a time bubble, it's something. And that's why it's decaying, because everyone's been there so long.
I like that.
I was going to say, what if it was like it's kind of the wrong play on burglars, but the Renaissance Festival has been closed down for years, and we're on the property, like, scouring for, like, loot. And then these elemental, tree people that have stayed at the location are upset and are trying to take back the possessions.
So we went in there to look for stuff, and they're trying to...
Maybe it closed down under, like, mysterious, like, circumstances, and, like, it's, like, a distant memory now, right? It's like, oh, whatever happened to that traveling Renaissance Festival? And so now we're in the midst of it, like looking for answers, and these tree people came to life.
I like I like the idea of the traveling Renaissance Festival. So it's like you might be walking through the woods and suddenly you find yourself in the lost and forgotten, or like eroding Renaissance Festival full of decay.
But not actually
decaying
three
trees.
people, right? That was just Steve's example, because they're stone, or you said they're stone, right?
Yeah. I think we'll stick.
Or earthen.
Like,
We'll stick
petrified
with,
wood is kind of like rock, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was
Except
thinking. But
They could use roots to do the B&Es, start tearing down the dry rotted boards and picking things out of the structures left behind.
So were the tree people also not part of the Renaissance? They were in the nearby woods, and now they're here stealing stuff. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
Their chance for revenge. Come into my forest and build a Ren Fair. I'll show you.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it.
that's why it became lost and forgotten. They had attacked, cleaned it out, and now it's like this haunted thing that just appears wherever it wants to be.
And they love crystals and hand-blown glass.
Yeah. Tankards of alcohol and like
Drumsticks.
wax hands and
Wooden
turkey
swords.
legs. Yeah.
Well, no, wooden swords might be a little too close to the vest there.
Yeah.
Crying over one. This was my cousin Billy!
Billy, you will fight on. Okay, I think we've got a pretty good situation. Odin, I didn't hear you add anything though.
I'm gonna say I think the tree people are scaring away anybody who comes to threaten the Renaissance Fair.
Okay, so they're like the guardians of this haunted, eroding, meandering. Okay.
They've reclaimed it for themselves, and now they're protective over their goods.
I feel like, but what do you guys think about them being like trapped there as well? Like they're as much prisoners as they were the ones that caused this mess in the first place. So now they have to guard it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like,
they do, and just out of fairness, they're not letting anyone leave either.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or are
I'm
they
stuck here.
are they completely misunderstood, and their burgling is an attempt to find how to break the spell and let everyone out?
Could
I
be.
like that. They're continually burgling to try to find the solution to their
Yeah.
to freedom.
They're
All
just
right,
like
this is good.
shaking out like people's wallets and like random items, and it's like none of it's useful. I love that.
All right. So we've got our situation fairly well established. The next step is to put ourselves into this story as characters, anywhere you want to be, and anyone with ideas is welcome to hop in with their situation.
well, I'm a cosplayer who heard about this place, somehow missed all the terrible details, thinks this would be a great place for a photo shoot. So I'm dressed up as a fairy or something, and I'm looking for places to pose.
Like you notice nothing amiss.
I'm a little self-absorbed.
All right. So also usually we recommend people starting out as human, but if as a group you want to allow people to start as something a bit more supernatural given the situation, it just shouldn't be too crazily advantageous. Like I am a dragon who can breathe fire and fly and
Took
stuff.
mine.
Yes, all right. But like a selkie or something, if you have any ideas, I don't think that's off the table.
Well, I'm a tree elf that's lived here for a very long time, and
All right.
I've been watching all this unfold. The only problem is I've been living here alone as a hermit, so I'm afraid to do anything about it. I'm just watching in terror.
I'm gonna be a lumberjack that accidentally wandered into the wrong part of the woods because people are giving me some looks.
I almost said, would we be lumberjacks, but
I mean, you're
I thought
welcome
it-
to be a lumberjack with me.
I thought it was too on the nose.
There are limits to my creativity.
I'm gonna be a guy who's down on his luck and has applied to like every job posting in his city imaginable, and one day wakes up and realizes, I've got limited skills, but one of them is I can fire juggle, kind of. I got fired from a children's birthday, literally, and ever since then I've been having a hard time finding work. But I found an email for an opportunity at the local Renaissance Festival and grabbed all my gear and immediately headed to the location, not realizing that it was not decades, that'd be crazy, a couple years old before everything started decaying and eroding and getting supernatural. So I am none the wiser to what's happening. I've just showed up to the Renaissance Festival with my bag of supplies, and I'm here to apply to be the fire juggler.
The job market can be hard sometimes. You gotta dig back.
Yeah.
All right, I've got mine. I'm going to be a skeptical druid. Someone whose family members keep telling him he's a druid, and he says, what a load of nonsense. And so he was directed to go meet people at the Renaissance Fair who may be able to guide him to discover his druidic powers.
I love that.
If they can convince him to
Right.
accept it.
I'm just like a confused like drunkard that just woke up half buried in the middle of the road.
No, you're supposed to make something up, not real life.
Weirdest intervention strategy.
Yeah.
All right. Does everybody have an idea of what their target was doing before we start putting people in peril, or would anybody need a little bit more details from their target?
What
Oh, I
did
have a
you
target? I'm not just kidding.
So does everyone see each other's targets?
Yeah.
Yes.
So targets aren't secret, and we're not actually attacking each other. So, for example, my target is Ian. You're being in a forced journey of self-discovery. You don't think you're a druid. I would say some treants sense your nature, even if you don't believe they do. And
Sense my nature.
yeah, druidic
Nature.
nature. Dang it, I caught that too late. So sensing your nature and thinking that you might be the key that they've needed all along to escape. They pick you up and they start trying to like just kind of mush you against the barrier to see if they can like wipe away the barrier that they can't escape from. Which now that you're inside, you can't actually leave, so it's hard as a stone wall, and you might get like squished, mushed flat.
So that's an example of putting someone into peril, and the
Yeah.
rest of us can now look at what our target was doing and think about how we would place them into peril. I love that.
I know what
Our-
my
our
target's doing.
characters-
She's saying, "How's this shot? Oh, look at this! This is fabulous. Do I look good against these trees?" Right, Kells?
Well, what's going to immediately threaten her life?
It's obvious. She's almost out of battery.
No.
So-
Oh no.
It's so fun, like people losing the attention of the world. This is like at least the second time this has come up.
It's like a recurring theme. It's
Yeah,
like-
but like it's not invalid. Like people, that's been a peril that has been totally used in great effect. All right, I should say so. Normally, I did give an example, but normally what we would do is everybody would have like some time to think about this, and then when you're ready, you would flip your card upside down. That way, us telling each other what the peril is doesn't like interrupt us from trying to think of what we're gonna do for the other person.
So yeah, the target card below your player card, once you know how you want to put someone in peril, you can just click it and it'll flip over.
All right, Aaron. So as you're walking through the Decaying Renaissance Fair, a root comes up from the ground and stops you from moving. And another root takes your axe away from you. So you've got roots up to your knees and you're stuck and your axe is gone.
Can you make my danger a little bit more? If I don't do something right now, I am about to die.
There could be other roots coming towards your neck right now, possibly forming a noose.
with the ones still on my feet too, like.
But yeah,
pulling me apart.
it's a total poison ivy moment. You've got magical roots around you.
Perfect. All right, Ben.
All right, so I've got Steve here, and you were a tree elf, correct? That was living at this
Yeah.
park, but too afraid to. Okay, so
Terrified.
So you've spent all this time too scared to move, too scared to take action. You know, these elemental burglars are here wandering the premises, and you've seen horrible atrocities over the years for any stranded people that managed to make their way into this Decaying Renaissance Festival and what the tree people do with them. Unfortunately, what happens with the tree people is as they claim more victims, more of them transform. And the tree that you have been hiding in all this time and observing from is actually a tree person that was just inactive until this very moment. So your tree begins to shake, and you're as you're overlooking the scenario, you look down, and this tree person's looking up, and it's reaching for you, and it's gonna try to eat you. Because what else would they do, I guess?
I've seen it many times.
So he's already in the tree that's trying to eat him.
Yep, it just came. It finished its transformation. It was dormant all those years, transforming, and then it turned into its elemental form.
Great. Now it's a mobile home.
So, Ben, you are a confused druid, or
No, I was just a juggler, a fire juggler who came
Yeah.
here looking for a job.
so you come in and you realize everything is dark and decrepit, and you see a tree walking towards you, maybe as an employer, and it grabs your arms to asking you why you are here.
Can you make his peril a little bit more imminent? What's gonna kill him?
The tree is very menacing. It is making it obvious that it wants an answer quick.
Ben, do you feel adequately threatened?
In the moment, I would assume like the pressure of how they're grabbing my arms is like they'll probably just tear me apart if they don't get a desirable answer. So yeah, I
Okay.
feel I can work with that.
Cool.
This is why you always bring a copy of your resume with you. And
Yeah. I like to imagine they walked up and they're like
Shield.
sizing me up, and I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? And then yeah,
Odin, you were lying there half buried, asking yourself the important questions like, where am I? And how did I get here? And what did I drink? When suddenly you feel yourself being dragged out of the earth. It's like this petrified tree is almost sprout up beside you and pulls you up and flips you over upside down and starts shaking you as if it's trying to shake the change out of your pockets. And you are getting really dizzy. And this guy's pretty strong. You could have a concussion, or he could drop you on your head. It's not good.
All right. So everybody's in peril. Does anybody need a recap of their peril? The next step is going to be you have to use. Oh my god, I missed a whole thing. That certainly helps. We're doing 3 rounds, so everybody's going to get 4 cards. So you're going to use one of your abilities to explain how you are trying to survive. Once you know which ability you would use, drag it and drop it in front of you. And once everybody's ready, we'll take turns describing how we're trying to survive. And again, feel free to ask for I can't remember what that person was doing or whatever. Like, you're welcome to ask for recaps at any point.
Yep, and just a reminder, if you look at your abilities and you decide none of them are applicable to what's happening, or if you want to take a risk, you can always do the wild card. So you would take an ability from the abilities deck after discarding, and you'd have to play that this round. That's where the risk factor comes in. We've had some pretty funny moments with people doing wild cards that have no business being in the situation and having to get creative with how it's saving their lives. So
yeah, but those can lead to some of the best stories. Kells does not look confident with her options.
No, I got a crud hand, but I'm not feeling brave enough to try the wild.
So devil you know versus devil you don't.
Actually, I got a great hand. Just nothing in particular for my peril.
That's fair. All right, so everybody's ready. I'll go first. I was a lumberjack that was anchored by my feet, but also attempting to be noose hunged, which would in effect pull me apart. Feeling myself being stretched out a lot more than I know I can take, I activate my size changing. I can shrink or grow my entire body or just parts of myself as necessary. So I go, no you don't, trees, Paul Bunyan! And I expand to where my neck is tree level so they can't possibly hang me, and just kind of grow and hulk out a bit.
All right. So I have body duplication, which means I can make an instant spawn of myself. And that spawn grabs Aaron's axe from the limbs and starts chopping at this tree that's holding me right now. And he's frantically chopping, and that tree is starting to tilt. And as it's getting its balance, it's loosening its grip on me, so I can easily get away from his grasp.
So I've got what I assumed to be an employer coming up to me, and oddly, have you ever met somebody and you don't know them that well, and you're on handshake territory, but they're a hugger, and then so I assumed oh, this guy's coming in for a hug, but really what he was doing was grabbing my arms, preparing to rip me limb from limb. Luckily, however, I have the ability elasticity, so I can bend and stretch your body like rubber. So just like a Stretch Armstrong, he goes to rip my arms off. Because he's not satisfied with my response of what I'm doing at the park. And it just kind of stretches and rebounds a couple of times. And it's long enough for me to slither out of their grasp while they're confused what just happened.
So, as this tree is shaking me upside down, I use my cluster body ability to turn into many small little creatures that just scuttle away
What kind of creatures?
as fast as we can.
What kind of creatures? I'm curious.
Like ants. Termites, to be specific.
Oh, good job. Okay.
Well, you're public enemy number 1 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost as bad as the lumberjack guy. Idiot.
Well, I was a fire juggler. I thought that was going to be red flag because fire trees. That was my little trying to be smart with it.
I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm posing for my pictures, and I realize the battery on my phone is running out, and this is terrible because if I don't take a picture of it, did it even happen? But luckily, I can summon a legendary magical artifact, and it's the heavens open, the sun shines down, it glows. It is the charging brick of destiny, and I just topped my phone off. I'm back to photos.
So I use my incredible acrobat skill to contort myself out of the treant's grip and rebound from the shield, landing 100 feet away from the treant.
That's quite the acrobatics. I love that.
That is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
All right, so the next step is going to be voting. We're all going to vote for who we personally think is least likely to survive. This is purely personal opinion. We're not going to be, we don't have to explain ourselves or argue. So in preparation for that, we're each going to do a one-sentence recap, and you should be thinking about which one you think is least likely to survive. So a quick one-sentence recap. I was attempted to be drawn and halved by a noose and some trees, but I Paul Bunyaned out and just grew large enough where the noose height was just nothing to me.
I've got, I was in a tree that I thought I was safe in until it came to life, but luckily I duplicated myself and he's a badass at the base of the tree just chopping away at it. And I'm about to get free from this thing. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm nimble. I'm an elf.
And I was getting about to be torn apart, but luckily I'm stretchy. So I just was able to stretch my limbs and escape the grasp of the tree burglar.
So I was getting shooken upside down by a tree, so I turned into millions of termites and scuttled away as fast as I could.
My battery was running out, so I produced the charging brick of destiny and topped off my phone.
As a tip of the hat to Andrel, I shouted, "Get your yiggin' branches off of me!" and rebounded off of the shield and landed 100 feet away.
All right. When you know who you'd vote for, pick up a token, but don't put it down yet. Threatening wiggles.
Yep.
All right. So 3, 2, 1, drop them. And you can do on top of the. That's fine. Uh-oh.
Oh. The system's breaking.
Things have gone terribly wrong. Just grab a new vote token. It's fine.
Yeah. So if you place them on the player card, there you
so
go.
Weird. I thought I fixed that. Oh well.
That's 6 votes. Okay. We did it.
So, unsurprisingly, as the person with the most votes for least confidence, I'm going to, as I Paul Bunyaned out, I realized that petrified wood is actually a lot stronger than I thought it was. So I grow in size to try to make up for the height difference, but the new size doesn't actually shrink. So now, I'm kind of strangling a little bit. I didn't decapitate myself, but I'm having a real hard time breathing and I'm still tethered to the tree. Does everybody remember what their target was last doing? New targets, new round.
Yes.
All right, so when you know what new peril will befall them, flip your target card over. So every round, whoever goes first actually shifts over. So Steve, you're up first.
I was hoping that wasn't it. Ian, remind me real quick. Where did you end up?
We can hop over.
100 feet away.
You what? You hunger beast away?
100 feet away.
Oh, 100 beats away. Gotcha.
Yeah, he was the acrobat and flipped, yeah.
And since he didn't specify a particular landing place, it's really...
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because I thought he was in motion last, and unfortunately he backflipped right into a thorn bush. And the thorn bush has cut him in several places, and he now has one in his jugular, and he's starting to bleed out.
Ooh.
That'll do it. All right. So I've got Aaron here who heroically was able to save himself from being split in two on the previous round, but now has the most badass choker as the newest fashion, and is having a hard time breathing. And unfortunately, nearby the scuffle of looking to regather his axe that was used by Steve in the previous round, he starts trudging, with more and more effort with each step towards the axe, reaching for his beloved tool, and just falls unconscious and starts to fall towards the blade end of the axe that's facing upwards on the ground. So
Well,
freak accident.
Steve's duplicate
Vital.
was still using it to chop down the tree. Would you be able to modify that a bit?
Sure. Yeah, I could do that. Obviously, yeah. Let's say that as you're going towards the axe and the duplicate person swinging it, big sharp chunks of the petrified tree that have been cleaved off with the axe are now laying in a pile nearby, and that's what you're going to pass out and fall into.
Perfect.
Our sharp, jagged tree pieces.
Tree shards.
So as this tree feels Steve's clone chopping at it, it just grabs his clone and grabs Steve and is about to smash them together.
It's like trying to fix the split. It's like, that's not right.
No, you don't.
About to make me one again.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, Ben. You're feeling really good about having turned yourself into rubber and dodged the attack, but you make a tactical error. You just can't resist taunting, and you can't help but yell out, "I'm rubber and you're glue!" Tree doesn't really, sort of a suggestion of a face, and then starts punching you. It's going to turn you into glue.
Oh gosh. Okay.
It's like trying to pulverize you. I don't know how they just have a vague concept of how you make glue.
I was gonna say, Kells, how do you think glue's made in real life? No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, time to do some punching. No, it's
Step one, you got to make it a liquid, right?
right. No, I love it, and I think that the classic "I'm rubber and you're glue" matches my character. You know, a kid who was bullied all his life probably would spend an abundant amount of time getting proficient at like juggling and other odd little skills to like. So
Ian observes the hundreds of termites running around, hiccuping and laughing and falling over each other in a drunken state. And they don't really look where they're going, and they run right towards the tree ants, who give a huge shriek of terror and start stomping on them.
That's fair. All right. Kells, you called forth a holy relic to recharge your phone for Instagram influence. What do you? In a rage, the god of mobile devices, seeing how you squandered his artifact, throws down a lightning bolt which travels through your lightning cable and turns your phone screen into a holy beam of incineration.
I deserved that.
Does everybody feel adequately threatened? All right. So pick an ability to try to help you survive and put it down when you're ready.
Oh, we don't get new ones, do we? We get to...
No, shrinking hands.
yeah.
It has to be one of the abilities. It can't be just something we say.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, like, so that's kind of the game, is like being forced a little bit to creatively integrate whatever the ability card is into your explanation.
Aaron, when we do wild card, we discard one or do we just draw one? I don't remember.
Oops.
Discard. Yeah,
Okay.
you have to give one up so that your hand is just as small as everybody else's hand.
All right, I'm gonna do wild card. I'm not gonna look at it either.
Ooh, bold. I'm about to
Just
fall
see what
unconscious
happens.
about sharp things. I do not have good options. I am also going to wild card. All right, Steve, you're up first. How are you surviving?
All right. So I have a super soldier. I was injected with an advanced biochemical serum. So at the exact same time, me and my clone both yell, "Flame on!" and burst into balls of fire, burning these. I know they're petrified, but they're still melting away. And yeah, we safely land on the ground. So we are good.
Nice.
Oh, also the base of this thing is now on fire. So bye-bye, tree.
Seems a little spiteful to just add that detail at the end.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
my
draw
home
away.
betrayed me. I'm mad.
That's fair.
All right, so I'm standing there, and having successfully evaded this tree person the first time, they got frustrated and completely changed tactics and have gone from trying to rip me apart to now just pummeling me as much as they can rapidly. And I chose a wild card this round, so I'm going to survive using my ability of super strength. I'm impossibly strong. So it's in the example says mold metal in your hands like putty, crush diamonds into tinier diamonds. Balance an elephant on your head. So
he's reading the example to buy time. I know.
Yeah, buying time and to influence, where I'm going with this. As somebody with super strength, one of my many abilities, I am able to take the blows of the tree no problem, as they're stumpy hands, no pun intended with tree, are colliding and just brushing off of me like it's nothing. And now it's my turn. Right? I've been waiting. I've been letting the tree person tire itself out. But with my super strength, I'm going to grab the petrified body and wood of this and just start crumbling it in my hands and shaking my hands and crushing it into pieces one after another, much like diamonds being crushed into tinier diamonds.
So as this being was trying to stomp on me, as of being trained my whole life, all of my many beings decide to fight back and destroy the petrified wood that is currently trying to kill me.
All right, we'll see how that plays out.
I am about to receive divine retribution for misusing holy relics, but luckily this beam is coming at me out of my destroyed phone. But luckily, I can turn anything into a lethal weapon or a reliable shield. And I'm in costume as a fairy. I've got this gauzy skirt. I rip my skirt and hold it up.
Okay.
As to shield the
Yes, to shield myself from the beam of divine retribution.
That was almost your last selfie.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a picture of it, so it doesn't count.
The lighting would have been good.
Yeah, maybe that's what's
All right.
left behind, a super bright version of this moment.
A holy ring light.
Yeah.
So as I'm being pierced by all these thorns, my skepticism forces me to say, well, typical. I don't believe in druids and nature and power, and I'm being killed by thorns. But then I remember I had the ability of the clown to master what I'm wearing into colorful and disproportionate clothing. And I think, well, if I was a druid, surely I would have a cloak of thorns. And so I am able to turn these thorns that are trying to kill me into something that's trying to now protect me.
All right.
All those years tying balloon animals. You've
It's certainly disproportionate clothing. Like if it's the whole thorn bush, it's a very round aesthetic. All right, and I am falling unconscious into some very sharp petrified wood shards. Luckily, though, with power of acoustic manipulation, I can emit and control sound and vibrations. So I'm trying desperately to get back to my beloved axe. And as I'm falling unconscious, I let out a the vibration of my groan ripples through this petrified stone, which is very very glass-like at just the right frequency where it shatters and powders, and I hit it like a softened pile of flour. All right, so next step in preparation for voting, quick recap, starting with Steve.
Yeah, I guess it starts with me. So I was about to get smashed with my clone, and we both yelled "Flame on!" Turned to a ball of fire, catching the petrified tree on fire, and the base of it's burning. He's more in peril than I am.
I have super strength, so a few punches from a tree are nothing to me, and I start taking fistfuls of tree and crushing it into pieces.
As a tree is trying to stomp on my millions of beings, as termites, we try eating through him and destroying him from within.
I try to shield myself from the holy ray of retribution by ripping off my costume skirt and holding it up as a shield.
I turn the thorn bush into a cloak to protect.
And I emit just the right frequency as I groan and fall unconscious to shatter the stone beneath my head. All right, when you know who you'd vote for. Everybody's fighting for tokens. That was my token. Oh, I think we got somebody who thinks they have a token, but doesn't yet have a token.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So 3, 2, 1, drop him.
Oh, I had me sweating there for a second.
Oh, very dare you.
So, Kells, what went mildly wrong with your plan?
Well, the shield worked. I didn't die, but it was gauze. So now some of that ray got through, and now I've got this huge wound on my cheek, this burn, and it's gonna leave a scar. And I touch it and I start screaming, "My life is over!"
Fair.
Because
They've
I'm
got
very
filters.
vapid and very into my pictures.
I like the filters counter.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Use a filter.
Last round. Does everybody remember what their target was doing last? All right. It's a new round, so Ben, you're up first.
All right, so when we last left Ian, they had managed to escape being crushed by the tree people as they tried to figure out what he was all about, and also, being thrown, flipping away into some thorns. They escaped that by crafting it into this cape, and now it is apparent to the tree people that this is not just an average person who stumbled into their woods, that this is their druid god. As much as Ian would like to completely believe all of this is nonsense, the tree people have come to accept that this is the key to getting out and the one that they need to worship. And in a dark turn, their idea of how they need to get out of there is they all need to consume a piece of Ian, so that he can be, with them wherever they go, and that they can pass through the barrier. So from the thorns, there is now just a wall of tree people who look with, admittedly, a look of love and awe in their eyes as they start to reach out, and they're going to try to rip pieces out of you, Ian, and
I
consume
liked
you.
where this was going at first.
I had the idea at first, and I was like, but if they revere him, like, how is he going to be in danger? It's like, well, let's just go with they're going to eat him again. But
Can we rewind Ben a little bit and pause at a certain spot?
just the godlike druid power part, is that the...
Yeah.
Ascending to godhood is never an easy path.
Yep,
Hopefully make
sacrifices
it
must
through
be
this one.
made.
Yeah. All right, Odin.
So as Aaron made your acoustic sound, you didn't realize that with your big breath, you accidentally breathed in a piece of petrified wood, and you are now violently choking on a very sharp piece of rock hard wood.
You kind of pulverized it into dust, right? So yeah, that could be breathed pretty.
It's like microscopic, sharpened.
Steve, you and your flaming you and your flaming clone have defeated the tree. You're feeling really great about yourselves, and then you hear a voice in your head going, "There can be only one." And you look at your clone, and you realize your clone heard the voice too. You two are now in a battle to the death.
I look on as Ben is standing triumphantly, super strong, and all these pieces of petrified tree, but he doesn't realize that some of them were pulverized into dust, much like Aaron did, and he has breathed them in, and he is now sneezing uncontrollably.
Oh man. As a total sidebar, my allergies this season have been awful too, so I feel this. Like, I relate to my character right now.
But had I known what he was going to do to me, oh, it would have been so much worse. Oh, wait, no. He suddenly sees a mucus health bar appear next to him, depleting every time he sneezes, and he wonders what will happen when it gets to 0.
No.
All right. Odin, millions of you are burrowing deeply into the petrified trees to escape being stomped to death. Unfortunately, with all your training, you never tempered your stomach in the art of eating practically stone tree. So all million of you are having
Broken teeth?
No, critical bowel blockages.
No.
Oh no.
Bad
You've-
way to go.
To eat enough to avoid being crushed, you're almost half full of stone now, and like blood circulation, things are backing up. Like, yeah.
Oh, Kells. Well, you got that nasty burn on your face, and When that happened, you also dropped your phone. And when you pick your phone back up, you realize that you accidentally posted that as a selfie. It went viral instantly, and you lost 75% of your followers, which puts you into a deep depression. And you cower on the ground in the fetal position, just lost and devastated. And you drop your phone. And the next thing you know, a giant stone or a giant petrified foot smashes that phone, and the next one's coming right for your head. And you're hopeless, and you're sad, and you're contemplating letting him just go through with it.
All right. When you know how you would try to survive, go ahead and put your ability face down. You are still welcome to pull a wild card if you don't think you've got good.
I think I
pull
have
wild
to.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't picture double jumping my way out of safety here.
I will say this is like one of the first times I've ever done wild cards too. Normally I get pretty lucky with the my ability usage, but I'm drawing a blank. So is everyone ready? Good to go? All right. So I am, the one thing that could thwart my super strong body is a microscopic enemy, and similar to Aaron's fate, in breathing in this toxic shards of petrified wood, and I'm highly allergic as well, as it turns out. And so as I just am sneezing endlessly, and it's draining my life force, I turn to my chosen wildcard ability, which is min-max. One of your stats is insanely high at the obvious expense of all your other stats. Okay, I can work with that. So one of the reasons that I am super strong from the previous round is that my maxed out stat is actually vitality. And it doesn't matter the hardships that have hit me through life, that have kind of clumsied my way along, and looking for a job. I'm like a half decent juggler, all this stuff, because I just brush off even the most dangerous of blows, because I kind of just wait it out, right? So my life force is being drained. I'm having this allergic reaction, but by the time it would otherwise kill me, it's nearly only drained half of my overall vitality, because I just put everything into my health. And so it's gonna just breeze over with enough time. I'll get over it.
Sidebar, I have to share this because you made me think of it, so it's your fault, Ben. Have any of you ever played the game Scum? SCUM.
I've
Yes.
seen it.
I have not.
It's a survival game where you're dropped as a prisoner onto an island full of what they call puppets, but are basically zombies. But what you made me think of is in the character creator is quite complex, and since you get dropped naked, one may even choose the size of one's penis. However, in the game rules, it is hard, fast set that the bigger you make your unit, the less intellect you have available to you. And you just made me remember that. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. No,
Why
that's
would I
great.
need intellect with this dragging behind me?
Yeah. I know how I would spec my character. I'm just throwing it out there. No.
Let's see them survive me.
Yeah.
No.
You actually, I use my ability Inflator. You are actually a smaller creature plotting a technologically advanced ship crafted to look like a larger creature. So these millions of termites are actually robots, and the real me is even inside of their heads. So I secretly escape out of all of them with even more creatures scuttling to hide behind a wall.
So, out of curiosity, these new smaller than termite creatures, what are they exactly?
Just aliens.
Just-
Safe bet.
yeah, that's fair.
Well, and I love how the robot, it wouldn't matter as much the getting blocked up. So that's perfect.
Jammed up the grate.
Yeah.
Okay, this gigantic petrified wood foot is about to come down on me, and I do think about letting it just do its job, since I've lost 75% of my followers, but I can summon a herd of up to 100 allied creatures, no larger than a sheep, to aid me. So 100 tortoises suddenly appear on top of me, all retracted into their shells. They are piling together to try and protect me. Heaven knows why.
You could not have picked a slower land animal to get to.
Right.
Well, they're all
What's like
right on me.
That's fair, and they have the shell, so I love it. But I was picturing 100 tortoises circling you, and what if they were just too late?
And she
I'd
says
like
to
to
the
think-
tree, "Hold on a sec."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that she chose slow so she could get away, and they're like, she can outrun them, and they're stuck dealing with the tree.
Well, that's awesome. I love.
Me. Yes, as I see my new followers starting to worship me and approach me, I start to think, all right, well, maybe I should start thinking like a druid, even though I still don't believe I am one. But if they believe it, then fine. I will use my power of
Gotcha.
bullet time to speed up my perceptions, everything basically to slow down around me. And I think, well, if I am a druid, surely I can create nuts and berries for them to eat from me rather than eating my actual flesh. There you go.
The old Jesus bread switcheroo. I see what you did there. Don't eat me. Take some wheat.
Yeah, this is my body.
Wink.
Not that.
Yeah.
Definitely not that.
All right. I am breathing in sharpened microscopic powder of death. Luckily, though, I am a ranger. I am really good at tracking and obliterating a particular kind of thing.
It's good. It's a good wild card.
All right. So there I am, face off against my
Oh, hold
clone.
on. He hasn't
Oh,
said
sorry.
how he's beating it yet.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
I
no.
did. Sorry.
So far,
I,
he's just
I kind of just
Did I not
walked
hear
by.
this? Right?
No, he just read the card.
yeah.
I was like-
sorry.
Okay.
Fires dragons.
So he's tracking
People
all
with
these.
shit in their mouth.
Now, I'll be honest. Whatever he's about to say probably won't make it much better, but
He's just like, I'm a ranger, and this is what I'm going to do.
we'll give him the opportunity.
No. So, I'm really good at tracking and obliterating. Tree ants. No. That would be too easy. No, I'm not gonna. No, I actually, my favorite enemy is petrified tree ants, and I usually track them by scent, among other things. So as soon as I feel and taste and smell the dust of my enemy enter my mouths, I wake up immediately and go into a rage, and I immediately scream. So anything that was about to enter my lungs, I go, "No, tree ants!" And I look around desperately for my favorite weapon, my axe.
Surely, if you're screaming with the power you had before,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
remember,
There's a narrative here. I like
Yeah,
it.
my acoustic.
Yeah.
And I spit out what's left in my mouth and charge at the nearest tree ant, the bane of my existence.
Is it safe?
I know. We all stopped you last time. Nope. The floor is
Okay.
yours, Steve.
All right, so I'm in a dead heat battle, or about to go into battle with my clone, and all of a sudden the smell of cookies fills the air. We both pause because it's really odd, and I notice behind him that one of those trees had become an animated tree because I have Toon Force, and the tree behind him is a Keebler elf tree, and he realizes he doesn't want my life. He wants the cookie life. So he goes towards that life to make cookies. And that's where he is.
All right. So, last round, one sentence recap to try to sell why you shouldn't be the one to be voted.
Yeah, so I min-maxed my stats in life to max out my vitality, and that comes with an exuberant amount of strength and health. So rather than this poisonous stuff killing me, this allergen, I'm just gonna wait it out, and it'll be fine. It'll blow over.
I feel that Ben, since he's min-maxing, needs to tell us where the min is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you imagine where the min is. Going off your previous analogy with this character, it's kind of the opposite of what you had described. So. No, we'll say stamina. So I just kind of lay there and just let things happen to me, but it's all right because I'm just so healthy.
That seems a little counterintuitive. It's fine. All right.
So, as I was millions of termites instead of those being real, those are actually robots, and I'm actually just a whole bunch of aliens inside of those millions of termites. So these tiny aliens are running and trying to hide behind a wall or anything they can find.
I feel like it's some kind of wood harvesting scheme.
Yeah.
Right. I summon 100 tortoises to lay on me and protect me from that giant foot that's trying to crush me.
Lay on you, you say?
Lie on. Sorry,
Lie
I
on
realized
you.
it as soon as I said it.
No, I mean, my only concern is
Yeah.
yeah, okay. No worries.
If
no
they're
worries.
not going to cover you like in a dome or something, that's just going to help the tree ant crush you.
Or at least a brick formation.
We'll see!
We'll see.
But we'll see if the tortoises are smarter than I am, because in case y'all haven't figured it out yet, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed tonight.
No worries. It's all that screen time.
Yeah.
It was really killing you. Especially the
Still-
last one.
Still reeling from the loss of all those followers.
So I slowed down time with my bullet time power, which gave me time to produce nuts and berries and all sorts of other goodies to feed my new followers.
Luckily, I sensed my favorite enemy with the common tactic of inhaling their essence and tasting them, and which immediately threw me into a ranger rage. And I just fly off the handle, try to attack the nearest tree ant, spitting what's left of them in their face.
And I convinced my clone not to be a tree elf anymore, but live in a tree as a Keebler elf making cookies.
All right, when you know who you would vote for, pick up a token. All right, 3, 2, 1, drop them. So as the last round, you don't have to say anything yet. Here's what happens. Steve and Ben are our winners this evening, so you guys share in the honor of describing how the overall story ends, including to what happens to your characters. However, before we get to do that, those of us who did not win, from most votes down to least, have to describe how something inevitably went wrong and our characters still perish. Kells, what went wrong?
The tortoise plan, it was a good idea, but as y'all pointed out, they were just on top of me, so it's just I'm smushed, and I took all those poor tortoises with me. I have now been the world is now safer for tortoises everywhere because I am gone. And it's really what I would have wanted because I was way too into that. I was way too obsessed with my followers, so we'll just end it here.
I like to think your secret power was just summoning tortoises into danger, which happened to be useful at this moment. But all right, Ian or I would be next. All right, let's see. Without my axe, even as large as I've become, I am no match for a tree ant. So in a blind rage, dust has gotten into my eyes too, and I'm viciously running at what I thought was a tree ant, but is actually the surprisingly accurate guillotine display of the Renaissance Fair. And as I'm running at what I think is a tree ant, I accidentally trip on the step up to the guillotine. And I go right into the thing, and the clamp falls down, followed immediately by the blade, and I pop like a ketchup bottle.
All right, so my my nuts and berries are being nibbled on, and it turns out that this has to, of course, overcome my cynicism about being a druid. However, I now see the tree ants are allergic to the food that I've conjured for them, and now see me as not their god, but their arch nemesis. And as I get this wonderful moment of enlightenment that, oh, I actually am a druid, they all grab me and crush me, and I explode into a ball of flowers and other assorted leaves and shrubbery,
As all druids do upon death.
as all druids do. And my last conscious thought is, oh, I am a druid. There you go.
This place did teach you what you were.
Indeed.
And last to go, Odin. What went wrong?
Well, we may have been aliens trying to escape our wood harvester machines, but because of all the clogged wood, the ships actually explode. Now, we were halfway out of our tunnels, but the tree ant catches fire from all the millions of explosions in it, in turn setting all of us on fire. So the tree ant we were trying to destroy inevitably becomes our fiery tomb.
Very poetic. And Steve and Ben, what becomes of this world after we are gone?
I know it involves cookies.
Yeah.
Fair.
And lots of fire.
I know, it's hard to resolve a story like this when everything just goes so wrong and there's no, like, obvious... Like, what did we accomplish?
I would say Ben suddenly realizes he can juggle all the fire and make lovely shapes out of it, and he finally has a job.
There you go. Yeah, maybe so I wake up after the dust settles, right, from my poisoning, and I'm still alive and I'm regaining my strength. And I realize that there's opportunity here to be, to leverage this land as an attraction, and I will be the star focal point with my juggling act, and nothing will go horribly wrong, I'm sure. But this is what I now believe will be my new business venture.
You're finally employed!
Yep.
Well, I'll happily help you manage the entire place, and my brother will cater with cookies.
We'll have the world famous cookie food stands as a major attraction.
There you go.
I love
All
it.
right. And so the Renaissance, the decrepit Renaissance Fair continues to just move around the forest, capturing unwitting people with delicious cookies.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
charms.
I think we should add an element that maybe with the death of Ian, like we'll go full force. You were the god, they crushed you, and that released the spell, and they've moved on, and maybe they crumbled to pieces or left the zone, so it's no longer a trap, and that's why we can revitalize it.
You're welcome.
You were
My
destined from
sacrifice.
birth and didn't know. That's why your family sent you here. They were like, oh,
Right. My sacrifice was not in vain.
You
that's a
had to
messed up
fulfill the
move from the
prophecy.
family, but yeah, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they just knew it had. To
You were the first boy born in a long line of your family tree, and as it was written,
literally.
you were the one that must be
You're the
sacrificed
best.
to end the curse. All right, so that was the game. Thank you all for playing. This was a ton of fun. When the world is looking more and more perilous by the day, even if your favorite pastimes like going to a Renaissance fair turns incredibly sour and things go wrong, at least you're there with your friends, and no matter what, everybody has the ability to be kind. Thank you for playing.